So, obviously just really good to get the win. It was hard fought and really proud of our guys. Nothing was easy today. Anticipated that coming in. And as much as anything, just impressed with the way the team stuck together. That first half was tough. Second quarter, right on through. But at halftime, I thought everybody was in a good place. Everybody was thinking the right way. And just, pleased with the way they did things and the way it turned out. Really everybody made big contributions. The defense played an outstanding game. It's one of the stranger shutouts that you'll see that way. They got involved in the scoring. Jay with that interception down in the red zone there for us, give us great field position. Obviously, Weege with the punt return, and Reese did a really nice job with his punting, especially the plus 50 punting. Maybe I've been around where somebody's put 4 inside the 6 or 6 inside, so pretty impressive, especially for a young guy. So that was good. And but 12-7 at halftime, it was a rough game, and that's what you expect in conference play. But just to come out and play the way we did in that third quarter, really great. That's a credit to everybody, and you get 28 points. It makes life a little bit better. So really happy about that. Really happy with the way the guys responded all week long. They put a good weekend. Nobody was moping around or pouting, that kind of stuff. And I think the other good thing is that we still have a lot of things we can get better at, and a lot of things that we can maybe be a little bit more detailed on. So that's we'll start that work again tomorrow. But first and foremost, just encourage the guys to really enjoy this. They earned it. Wins in the conference are hard earned, and enjoy it tonight. Not too much and not too late, because we got a big week ahead of us. But I'll throw it out for questions. And last thing I'll just say too, what a great crowd again. Homecoming's always kind of neat, and you got a lot of things going on, I'm sure, on campus. But tremendous crowd. Couldn't have had better weather either. So it turned out to be a really nice day. I'll throw it out for questions.
John and then Elliot.
John Steppe, Cedar Rapids Gazette. What kind of prompted the decision, or what was kind of the thought process of making the switch to Brendan when you did, and is he now your permanent starting quarterback?
Yeah, we'll see on that. Permanent's a strong word, right? But it's like super glue or whatever. But yeah, I mean, we had already made the decision during the week that we were going to rotate Brendan a little bit, and thought third, fourth series. So depending on how it played out, so it just worked out that way. And then he did a really nice job, and Cade was shook up also after the hit he took.
Hey, Kirk, Elliot Club, Hawkeye Beacon. How much did Brendan's mobility, did you think Brendan's mobility really opened things up for the offense and maybe made things easier, specifically on Caleb, who had a great second half?
Yeah, that's a clear contrast. I think, that's one of Brendan's strengths. He's a really good athlete and really good at that. And then, the other thing is he commanded the game, which is, no matter what your style is as a quarterback, you have to do that. So, it was a really good outing. And, I think we got into a little flow in the second half, and that was certainly encouraging. And, there's give and take with everything you do, but really, really happy for the way he stepped in. Thought he played with great poise. I didn't think too much about it, but, playing his former team, you always worry about emotions a little bit. Didn't worry too much about it, but didn't seem to be a factor either.
Scott Dockman, The Athletic. I wanted to kind of take you back to Sunday and then Monday. Sometimes teams, when their goals are kind of put on ice, they react certain ways. You guys haven't had to deal with this for a while, but sometimes teams just quit buying in, they move on mentally. How did this team not do that, and what made it to where they're focusing, even though whether it's a playoff, conference, whatever, it's kind of out of their control now?
Yeah, I mean, you may have figured it out, but I'm kind of a doom and gloom guy. So I always come up with all the bad scenarios that could happen. And to your point, a couple things. I mean, the goal is to win every game. So, when we lost our first one, that kind of went out the window. I think you got to be careful about how you frame goals and, how openly you discuss them. And I think you have to keep things adjustable, especially when you play in a conference like this. So it's just part of the deal. But specifically, I did have the thought going back to 2003. We played Purdue, and that was our third loss that year. And I remember Grant Steen really being emotional in the locker room, and it struck me. He was thinking about national championship, all that stuff. So, or the playoffs or whatever it may have been. And it kind of it struck me. I wasn't expecting that. So had that thought this week, but at the end of the day, that season turned out really well. We had a really good season. Guys did a great job, finished up strong, and so I think you just have to be flexible with your thinking that way, and you got to communicate that to your players that it's still all about this week, and it's a week-to-week conference. I'll keep saying that because it is, and we'll do the counting and all the math and all that stuff at the end of the year. But right now, it's just about trying to do what you can each day, and then hopefully it shows up on Saturday that you did a good job.
Adam Jacoby, Hawkeye Beacon. Obviously, it's a lot easier said than done to send a captain like Cade McNamara to the bench. How would you say that he handled, moving to the bench after that move was made? And what can you say about his leadership through all of his struggles through the season?
Yeah, he's been great, and can't say enough about that. He's been really good, and it was maybe an adjustment here last year. He was never healthy, but he's been great this entire year, going back to January, and he never got on track at all a year ago, so it's hard, and it's really hard. But he's been tremendous. I don't know. We send him to the bench, and again, this was pre-planned. We communicate with everybody, especially the parties involved, just what our plan was and why. And I didn't see it as a demotion as much as, like, Brendan's been doing a good job. We want to learn more about him, and we feel like we can win with both of them. So keep our fingers crossed. And to that point, not that but I mean, a week ago Monday, I know it was a big topic. 2 weeks ago Monday, it wasn't a topic about who our quarterback was. So that's the nature of football, and you can't worry too much about that. And our job as coaches is to try to do what's best for the team.
David, then Dan.
David Eichel, HawkeyeInsider.com. Kirk, really quick, injury updates was Reese Vanderzee. He exited the game, and maybe a couple other handful nicks and bruises there. Just kind of curious about that.
Lachey, yeah, both those guys came out and couldn't go back in. Luke was available for emergency, so I think he'll be okay. Fingers crossed, and then we'll have to see with Reese. I don't know. He's got a lower leg deal, so he I don't even know how many snaps he got, but it was painful, so he backed out of there.
And then my other question was with Caleb Johnson. Mason Richmond said that Caleb's really learned how to run angry, but not angry as teammates are angry about anything else, but he just runs angry with an aggression. Can you kind of explain the maturity process that you've seen over the last couple of years and how he's kind of learned to balance running angry but being focused on the right things?
He's always been talented, and I think this year a couple things. I mean, he's more focused on the right things, and there's a lot. Every position's got a lot of things they have to be wired into. So I think he's got a better approach there. Just in general terms, I've always said, usually year 3 is like a year where guys really start to come into their own. There's exceptions to everything, but that's usually a big year. And I still think, he's had a lot of good runs since then, but I think one of the most encouraging things I saw was week 2 in that 4 minute. We were trying to bleed the clock. And there were 2 runs he had where he moved it, 5, 6, 7 yards, and it was blocked for 1 maybe. So to me, that was like, okay, this is a good sign. He's starting to figure out how to use what he has. And as you saw, I mean, he'll step through tackles. If you can get him through there, he'll step through tackles. It's really tough for them to bring him down, and he's really doing a good job finishing runs. So he's been delightful, and I think he showed off today. His high school coach was here, who actually brought him up here about 3 years ago, I guess it would have been, and helped keep him from going to Cal. Thank goodness.
4 more. We'll start with Dan.
He'd be playing in the ACC, right? How about that?
Coach Dan Stacy, Sportscast Media. Your defense did play outstanding today, not allowing any points. Did you put special emphasis on that this week after the Michigan State game, or was it business as usual because they played?
Yeah, we did this tackling drill. So I'm teasing, I'm being smart, but so I mean they had a completion early in that first drive right in front of our bench for like 15 yards or whatever it was, and then they got a good running quarterback. Northwestern does. Of course, we let him out around our left side, his right side, and he threw it down there for another completion. So we kind of started a little bit slow, but after that, guys made a lot of really good plays, and it's not we are who we are. We do what we do, and just try to remind the guys one game doesn't define you. So, and we all have bad days. I mean, we've all had them, and then we had one last Saturday night defensively, and Michigan State had something to do with that too, to their credit. So, you got to be ready to go. And the guys I thought really played really well today, and they were happy afterwards, and deservedly so.
Tyler Cashman with the Des Moines Register. First, do you know the severity and nature of Cade's injury at this point?
He's shook up. I mean, he hit the turf pretty hard, and they took a pretty good shot from that guy. So we'll see what he feels like here.
And do you want to land on one quarterback the remainder of the season? Are you okay with rotating? Have you decided that?
I mean, we did it in '81. You weren't alive. And it worked out okay. So, but I mean, yeah, we'll do what's best for the team. And going back to the point earlier about the rotation, it wasn't what we were benching Cade. We were, going to give Brendan a chance too. He's done some good things, and it gives us a chance to look at him. And he did a lot of really good things today, and a lot of things he'll get better at too. So it's encouraging. And now you got hopefully 2 guys we can win with.
Chad.
Good morning, Register. How have you seen Brendan kind of just be ready for this role, I guess, in the last 8 weeks or whatever it's been? He seemed, a couple 3 and outs obviously early
Yep.
on there, but seemed ready once he got going.
And we're going to have 3 and outs. That's part of it too. We're playing good teams. So, and these guys are feisty on defense. I mean, they made it really hard on us, and we knew that was going to be that way. In fact, when it was 7-5, I'm thinking, okay, here we go again. One of these weird, games that we end up in sometimes. But yeah, you can't say enough about Brendan because he got here in June, and so Tim got here 1st of February, roughly. And so, he was really playing catch up, not being here this spring. And there's a lot to learn, a lot of words, all those kinds of things. So he's worked hard at that. And I'd say the same thing about Jacob. Those guys really jumped in there and really did a good job being focused on the right things. They both have good work ethics, and they're mature guys, which I think helps too. He's played experience. And I mean, fun fact, Brendan actually was the losing pitcher last year in this game, and today's a winning pitcher. So how often does that happen? That's kind of interesting on different teams.
Yes.
Last question, John.
And both were the right way too, by the way. Yeah.
I was 3-0 when he started.
There you go.
Kind of 2-parter. First of all, Nestor and Fisher, do you have any update in terms of their status?
Yeah, so Fish, I don't want to say called, he came in sick yesterday morning and was not any better today. So I know it's not strep, they've eliminated that, but we'll see. Hopefully he's better. Hopefully he's feeling better right now. But he was hurting. I would expect he'll be back Monday. And then, I'm not a doctor. And then Nestor, I'm not sure. I mean, he's got a tissue thing, so we'll see how that comes back.
Okay,
And then
thank you.
with that, you end up with 3 defensive first team guys all from the same high school. Have you ever had that happen before? And what kind of stood out to you about your kind of Xavier guys?
About the what?
About your guys from Xavier.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we ever had 3 guys like that. I don't know. It's a good question. But, yeah, just really pleased with everybody. Those guys really worked hard today, and it was good to get back on our feet. And that felt more like the way we want to do things.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.